Owen Smith is a longtime stand-up comedian and writer who's actually going to be honing that stand-up craft here in Austin this weekend at the Comedy Mothership. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows on Saturday. I tell you to grab tickets at comedymothership.com, but they're sold out. Still, find a chance to get to the Comedy Mothership. It is a world-class venue. Owen, thank you for the time. How you doing today?
Good. Thanks for being so flexible. Appreciate it.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you for providing the time. I know you don't have to do this because you sold out your mothership shows last week. So thank you for your
Oh, that's
generosity.
good. I didn't know I did that. That's good. It sold out?
It's completely sold out. I think there was
Is
a
it?
Sunday show. Or no, wait, you're not performing on Sunday anymore, are you?
No, because they're doing a Christmas show.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, he was doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday at one point. Now it's only
Yeah, I was bummed
that's what
about
it was. When I first asked, there was still some Sunday tickets left, but no, you're completely sold out Friday and Saturday. So
Oh,
should
that's
be a good
exciting.
should be a good time. Okay, a couple quick questions before we get
Yeah.
going. Have you performed at the Mothership yet for a guest
Nope.
spot?
No.
Okay, and I know that you have kids. You and I are in the same boat in that regard. What are the ages?
I see us. What is that behind you, boy or girl? Beautiful.
That's my daughter when she was like 9 months old, looking way
Come
cooler
on.
than I ever will in my life. They're 9 and 7 now, my daughter and son.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you got a fourth grader and a first grader?
We did it weird. Third grader and second grader. The third
Okay.
grader is old for her age, and the second grader is young for his
Yeah.
age.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we got a let me get this up. We got a my son is 7, my daughter is 4.
So you're in the thick of it right now.
Yeah. Like we're just starting to like work out again and kind of get back in shape. Me and my wife, we're just starting to go out on dates a little bit and kind of get back to us a little bit.
You're holding on for dear life for a few years there, you know?
Yeah. I was talking to this one guy when we were on the writers strike. We were walking the line, and you get to meet like a lot of people you don't generally get to talk to. And this one guy, his kids were a few years older than mine. And he said, "You're almost out the tunnel, man. You're almost out the tunnel." It was like war talk, but yeah, I never heard it referred to as a tunnel, but that was an accurate depiction of it.
And then the other question I have, and the answer can be no, and that's completely fine. But because one of the places that this will be airing is my daily ESPN Austin show. Are you a sports fan?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What are your teams?
Oh God, I'm almost embarrassed to admit my teams. I grew up in Prince George's County, Maryland. So I got the Wizards and the Commanders, man. It's been a rough 2 decades, my friend. But I enjoy the Clippers out here. I love the Lakers because I'm an older guy, so I root for the oldest dude in the league. I'm emotionally like tethered to LeBron's success and fluctuating hairline. And I love Kevin Durant because he's from the DMV. He's from the same area as me. I love the beauty that Steph brings to the game, and I do jokes about it in my act. Like I love whenever he plays LeBron because it's like growing up with the dad versus no dad. To me, it's like who's gonna win. I just have fun with the whole thing, and and it's so weird too because I'm older. I'm not old, but I'm older than the players now, so I feel weird wearing their sneakers. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it doesn't have the same. It's like a different kind of love and appreciation for the game now. But yeah, man. So in basketball, I love them. Baseball, I'm always an Orioles fan.
Okay. That was nice, a nice year for you guys. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
it ended a little bit prematurely, but it's a better regular season than you've had in forever.
Yeah. I also like the Cubbies, man. My father-in-law, rest in peace, he was a big Cubbies guy. And I was trying to teach my son the game. He loves to hit. He has cousins that play. I love the mental aspects, of it all. His cousins are a little older, and they're playing in like the traveling teams. They go to Texas all the time to compete. But my son, I need to take him to a game, I think, to get him to like fall in love with playing in the outfield. He did not like playing defense, but neither did his team. He was young. They were all like picking grass and kicking dirt. They just wanted to hit, which is yeah. And then football, I don't even want to talk about it, man. It's been painful.
Rivera's got to be at the end of his run, right? Like
What
they
is
need to go a
happening?
different direction after this season.
Oh, I hope so, but it's like, how do you convince them to to do it?
Well, the
Uh,
starting point is getting Dan Snyder out of there, and thankfully he's no longer an
that was
NFL
big.
owner.
That was big. That was big. And man, I didn't think that was ever going to happen, to be quite honest with you. So I feel like they need a couple of years to kind of just reset. And once they see what damage Philadelphia does in that conference, I feel like the ownership of, start to actually do, get out of their own way. If
The new guy has kind of a Steve Ballmer feel about him, where you can tell that he's nerdy but he's really passionate about the team,
yeah,
which I
absolutely.
think ultimately is a good thing too. Versus Dan Snyder, who's just looking for ways to squeeze every last cent out of every person involved with the franchise, players, management, and fans alike.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh man, since this is on ESPN, yeah, I did this piece. I wish I could give it to you. I did this whole thing about the GOAT. It was just my funny take on it. When they were talking about who's the GOAT, LeBron or Jordan. And I was saying there should be another category for the GOAT. There should be, I say Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time with a father, and LeBron is the greatest player of all time without. And I can state my case, man. Like all the greats, Magic knew his dad, Bird knew his, rest in peace to his father, and Kobe's dad played in the league, all those guys. But LeBron, growing up the tallest dude in Akron, on record saying he never met his dad. I feel like every time he saw another tall person in Akron, he had to be like, "Are you, Daddy? Is that you?" And I love LeBron. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think that should really be the case that ESPN should make and give LeBron his crown, because it's between him and Kevin Durant, I think, because Kevin Durant's mom was the MVP. And Kevin is starting to find his stride. I think he may, see how long he can stay healthy. It's going to be a great story between those two to see how they both cross that finish line. So,
and Katie's obviously had such a fascinating career, and you're a big fan because you guys come from the same part of the country. He obviously spent some time here in Austin too as a UT player for one season, was the Naismith Player of the Year, set scoring records that still hold at this university. And like he's a good dude. I realized he had the multiple Twitter accounts and people dinged him for that. And he went to the Warriors and created a super team. But he's just a fun basketball player to watch. And he has forced the game to evolve because his skill set was so unique, especially when he first came into the league.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, and he was one of those people that like really, and to me, understood each matchup and how to exploit them. You know what I mean? In each game, like he actually did that work, and you could just tell. You could just tell that's kind of like what separated him from the rest of the pack. Because every night, it's a different look, and he knew how to exploit those things to his advantage. So, I hope that they're successful in Arizona. I wish they could have done it with Monty Williams. I actually played against Monty Williams in high school.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's a few years older than me. And then I went to Notre Dame when Monty played at Notre Dame. He was always a teacher. Like he was teaching me, how to do. We would play open gym a lot. He was always teaching. He was, how strong you got to be to dunk on somebody. He would like teach me like all these things. I'm 6'5", but Monty is like 6'8", 6'9". He was teaching me how to score on a taller player. And then he would get upset when I would do it to him. But yeah, he's from PG County. He was a like straight A student, model academic student, and he was a McDonald's All-American. And he used to, in high school, because we used to do these things called game bells. I don't know if you guys do that in Texas, but it was like where you would go. So most of our games would be at 7 p.m. But on the schedule, you would have like a 12 p.m. game or like a 1 p.m. game, and you would play at the other at your rival school,
Mm-hmm.
and their whole school would like be able to come out of class and come to the game. And so he went to a school called Potomac. We played Potomac during the middle of the day, and the whole school was there. And Monty got a rebound through an outlet to half court. The point guard didn't even cross half court. He just threw the ball in the air. And we were like, what's happening? And we looked, Monty was on the other side and caught it and reverse dunked it on our whole team. And the rim didn't even pop back up. It like locked down. So the school was going crazy. I wanted to go home, man. I wanted to just go right out the tunnel. But he was an amazing high school player. Amazing. Then he played at Notre Dame. Then he went, I think, with San Antonio and a few other NBA teams. Yeah.
Did you play ball at Notre Dame, or did you just play pickup when you got
No, I did. My claim to fame at Notre Dame, I could have walked on one year, but I did the math. I was what they called like a tweener.
Okay.
I'm 6'5". I have like a down low game. I have a community college jump shot. so I so to get rebounds over like 6'8", 6'9", 6'10" dudes, I was a liability, and I didn't have the stamina to follow these 6'5" dudes, around picks and all that. I was baseline player. So, and I still could have like played and been, a decent person for them to practice against, but it was such a time suck. I said, no, I'm not going to play. But what I did do was I won bookstore basketball, hit the winning shot of that. So anybody who went to Notre Dame, they know about that. That's like the largest 5-on-5 outdoor tournament. It's in the Guinness World Book of Records, and you play against everybody. So all the scholarship athletes play, and my team, we beat all of them, and I hit the winning shot. So that was kind of like my weekend warrior. You know what I mean? That's when I kind of put it to rest. Like, all right, I'm done. That's the extent of my basketball skills. Time to do something else.
That's a hell of a personal sports highlight. Hopefully everybody has at least one of those in their lives, even if it's like youth sports. Like, unfortunately, I peaked as an athlete in like before I ever got to even like middle school or high school. Like, I had an unassisted triple play and T-ball, and I kicked a goal from midfield around the same age as well in soccer. And then I think I had I had the first 3-pointer in my junior high's history, because they had painted the 3-point line right before our game, and I was one of the B teams that got to play first, and it was this running heave of a 3 at the end of a quarter. And so I always get to claim that, but it fell down greatly after that. And of course, I'm still trying to relive the glory days by talking sports for a living.
Oh no, I love it, man. That's smart, man. Yeah, I played against Grant Hill one time, and that's when I knew I wasn't going to go pro. I was like, I was in high school. I think I was a senior. No, because Grant is older than me by a year. I might have been a junior, and it was a Christmas tournament, and I was dating this. They called them like hood girls. I was dating this girl. She was all like, oh, she was like real animated and had my back, like, you gonna get him, And she was on the sideline with my mom, and I was checking Grant Hill at the point at the point guard, because I was like one of the tallest players on our team. And I think he was maybe 6'7". I think he's 6'8", 6'9" now. And his wingspan is incredibly long, and he hit me with a crossover. And most times, if you crossed over in front of me, I could just stand in front of you. But his arms were so long, I had to like slide down to his left and then slide back. And then when he went up to shoot, there was no way I could have gotten up that high. And I told my girlfriend right after he hit that, he hit like a deep 3 on me. I said, go home. I was like, you don't need to see this. Go home. Get out of here. I'm yelling at him. Man, he might have scored like 60. It was crazy. And he wasn't even like, he was just using us to find his spots. He was literally running like drills on us. It was incredible. It was incredible to see. And yeah. So I've had some humbling moments, and I had some good ones. I played against a few other NBA players who were like journeymen, and I got the better of them. But yeah, that was the extent of it.
When were you at Notre Dame?
I was there from 91 to 95. I went to school with like Jerome Bettis and Rocket Ishmael on the tail end, and bunch of those guys. Still have a lot of good friends from that.
Were you there for that Tony Jones led championship team, or was that 1990? I'm forgetting.
That was right before me. I was there when we were almost undefeated, and Boston College kicked like I want to say a 60-yard field goal to end our thing. Yeah, man. I was like, oh, BC, how dare you? How dare you? Yeah.
Do you still follow the football team pretty closely?
Yeah. I mean, but you know, so crazy, man. I don't know what this is, but it'll like ruin my day if we lose. I'd be so upset. So I honestly I can't watch. I'll watch. I'll watch like 3 games, but I won't watch the opener. I have to hear about it because I'll be like, oh, the season when we upset. And I'll always watch USC because I live in California, so
yeah.
I have so many friends that go to USC, and in my single days, I dated somebody who went to USC, so we always, you know. So I hit it with the sorry for your loss this year because we gave him the business, which was great. And I have a few other colleagues that went, and I had a lot of fun talking trash to them.
USC fans earn the trash talk with as confident / arrogant as they are oftentimes.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah, and they have like, I mean, so yeah. But then I'll slowly start to get the courage to watch like as the season progresses. But I'm always nervous to just come out in the beginning of the season. Like, let's see how they do. I'm always rooting for them, I'm always reading about it, but I can't for some strange reason. I was like, oh man, I just get so sad if they lose early on.
Oh man, Longhorn football has dealt with so much futility over the last almost 15 years now. Yeah. That when they beat Alabama earlier this year, it was weird to feel that sense of optimism. I call it University of Texas stress disorder. Like my UTSD kicks in if we even have a close win against bad competition. So to beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa by 10 points, like we didn't know what to do with ourselves.
That's crazy. That was amazing. And the playoffs, man, I hope y'all take the whole thing, man. Just, that whole Florida State thing was tricky, man. That was interesting. I wish they would have had the extended, 12 teams in the playoffs. I wish that was this year, because man, to go undefeated, that has to hurt a little bit. But
I feel bad for Florida State fans. I've got a friend who is an alumni or alumnus from the school, and I was watching the game with him on Saturday, and he was so happy when they won, and they won by double digits with a third string quarterback who looked more like a pedophile than a bona fide FBS quarterback. But they won that game, and they've got a really good defense and good skill guys, and they still missed out in favor of an SEC team, you know?
Man, and it's so crazy, and it's like, I don't know if your 9-year-old or 7-year-old plays sports yet, but I coached my son's soccer team the last 2 seasons. And last year we were about a 50% team. We weren't that good. But this year we almost went undefeated. We only lost 1 game. And like you start like believing, you start getting this sense that we go into the playoffs, and we lost our first game in the playoffs. We didn't have to lose it. But it's like, magnify. Imagine if we were on the coaching staff of Florida State and you were able to motivate these because you forget these are still kids,
Yeah.
You were able to motivate these kids to lock in each game and be flexible and go with the punches when the quarterback goes down, and to still stay on scheme and for them to get handed this blow. I mean, honestly, it's only going to make every single player on that team better for the game called life. You know what I mean? Because just it's so unpredictable what it throws at you. But gosh, could you imagine? Like, we were bummed for Little League Soccer, like, because we got them to focus and they were playing as a team, and just to get them to not cluster around the ball and the pass and to talk to one another. Like, it was like great to watch them grow, and see that they can trust their teammates and all this stuff. And then for them to lose and people crying and upset. And it was just like, I couldn't imagine.
I completely sympathize with that because I've coached my daughter's volleyball team the last couple of seasons. And this last season, I was the head coach. And we were good. We were like you guys, where it's like all of a sudden the mistakes had gone away. Like the first thing that you have to get in these girls' heads when you're starting to teach them volleyball, because this is the lowest level for all of them. Stop doing cartwheels right before somebody serves.
Yes.
And then just be ready for it. Run after the ball. Keep your arms straight. And they were starting to figure it out. And we saw we saw these girls like individually get better and as a team get better. And we were just crushing competition all the way until the playoff week. So they don't keep score for the first 7 weeks. The 8th week, they keep score. We crush the team on the practice scoring game or whatever. And so the next week is the playoffs, and we make it 3 rounds in. So we didn't lose the first round, thankfully. We make the 3 rounds in. We're a game away from the championship, and they just completely lost it. I mean, they lost their focus. My girls, because it's all about who gets the serve over at this level as to who's winning the games. Yeah. My girls weren't getting their serves over, and I was bummed for them, but it ate me alive on the inside also, because I'm like, God, I'm about to be the Nick Saban of 2nd and 3rd grade girls volleyball here. We're about to run this league for the next couple of seasons, and we don't even make it to the championship game.
You're getting the shirts printed out. You getting ready. Yeah, isn't it crazy? You find out your team's getting scouted. Other coaches are going, yeah, number 12 is pretty good. You're like, hey, you scouting my daughter? Yeah.
I did that the previous game. I was in the gym. I'm like, God, I don't know if I should be proud or embarrassed right now that I'm scouting this 2nd and 3rd grade girls team that we're likely going to be playing next round.
That's it. Yeah, it's something, man. I was like, and I've never played soccer, but I have friends like my friend comedian Ian Edwards, who's super funny. He's a big guy. He has a soccer podcast. So I would like call him. I have a friend who played soccer at Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's men, they were good, but they lost in the quarterfinals to Louisville. But I watched that game with my son. So my son was able to see Speed is your friend. See how they doing the thing? But it was like really cool for him to like see it at like that next level. And yeah, and I was starting to think, you know, because I'm an outsider. My first year, I had them running basketball plays. I had them setting picks. Just set the pick, go around, flash cut. Roll, I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah. But,
the spacing does translate though from basketball to soccer. Obviously, you have more. Well, I guess at that level, there may be close to 5 kids on the field at a time. But
yeah, we did 4, and then we're going. Yeah. And then I was reffing. I learned a lot from reffing. That was like the craziest part. I never thought in the 10 years I would be a ref, man. Like, but you have to it's a volunteer league. And so it's pretty amazing. It promotes community. And, you know, in a world where we're all on our phones and all that stuff, just to get other parents to like volunteer, you're really like creating memories for your kids, you know. But it's and when everybody does it, it's a beautiful thing. But man, reffing really taught me the game a lot, because you can see that kind of like what other teams do on more advanced levels. But what my hustle was on the ones where it's 3 refs, I'm always the assistant ref, and I'm always on the opposite side from the parents. Those parents are ruthless, man.
I was about to ask if you dealt with any hostile parents.
Me?
Yeah.
No. Well, what I do, because like I say, I'm on the opposite field. I wear my sunglasses. And when I tell you I do the most official points with my flag, like I look serious. Like they don't mess with me, man. They're like, what's my man on? I'm pointing with his corner kick. I'm over there doing the thing. I'm official. So they don't mess with me, but they mess with that center ref and the ref on their side. Ooh, they get it. Ooh, buddy, they get it. But I'm always on the other side.
So I spoke with Ian several months back before he headlined at the Mothership.
Yeah.
Knowing he's a big soccer fan, I tried to get him to go with me on soccer at the highest levels, needing to adjust the offside rules. The offside rules are so ridiculous to me, and it keeps that sport from being more entertaining. It's like, oh, there was an almost opportunity there in this 0-0 tie or this 1-0 game, and ties are cherished. It's like, hey, when the ball gets in that large goalie box, offside goes away. It's as simple as that. But he's a purist of the sport. He obviously knows the sport a whole lot better than I do. He's like, no, the offside rule is fine as it is. Yeah. You need to come to where soccer is and make that adjustment on your end versus wishing that it was something closer to
American need to football. Come to where soccer is. Yeah, that's my man. Yeah, no, it's true. Like when I was learning the rules of refereeing, the way it was explained, it makes sense. Yeah, because you don't want to give. It's kind of like cherry picking in basketball, right? Like, you know, the hustle is you miss your shot, and then you complain to the ref, even though the ref is down there, and then you just act like you tired, and then whoop, you just wide open for the lay like that. It could culminate to that as well. And so, yeah, no, and that's when the parents get the most heated, man. When they go hard. And so what I pitched to our league is I said on every referee shirt, they should put a QR code because it's a volunteer league. And it's like, hey man, you can volunteer too. Just hit this link, hit this QR code and sign up, and you can ref. It's like, don't yell at me. I'm here. Just hit this little QR thing. And because offsides is what, man, that's the one. That's the one. And what I would do.
Wait, do you guys play? Do you guys play with offside?
Not at my age level, but I was also reffing the older
Oh,
age.
I see.
And so what I would do is I would tip the center ref. I go, hey, number 7, offside. You might want to either holler at him or holler at his coach, because this game is gonna be close. And you can see it. You can see my man, doing it. Then they would score. Oh, then he would hold that flag up. I was like, oh, I'll be over on the side with my sunglasses. Here it comes. You don't know what. We're gonna need an escort to his car. Yep.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's serious business.
All right, just a couple more questions now, Owen. Obviously, the mothership has gotten a ton of love since it opened at the end of March.
Yeah.
Your friend Joe, he came at it from a comedian perspective. He got the opinions of other comics as it was being made, and the end result is fantastic. Probably one of the best clubs on the planet, if we're being completely honest about things. What's your expectation going in there and performing for the first time this weekend?
Man, I can't wait, man. I just want to. When I hit up Joe and I said, Joe, listen, every comedian who goes down to Austin, they come back to the Comedy Store with this look in their eyes, man. They just look just so whole and appreciated. And like they had so much fun. They talk about how they can't go back. I said, Joe, I want that look. I wanted that look. He started laughing. He said, hit up Adam. And so Adam gave me a date. And so I'm excited, man. Like I'm looking forward to it. I want to put out a special next year and just put out more. I don't know if you know, but Joe's always been on my case because I've been writing that I haven't. In the 90s and early 2000s to the mid 2000s, I used to work the road heavy, and then I ended up getting gigs writing, and I got married and things of that nature. So I haven't really been out as much. And Joe was always on me like, man, you got to tour. So my kids are starting to get a little bit older. And so so I would love to make this one of my home rooms where I can come back at least once a year, because I'm always writing. I always got new stuff. And I just want to, and you want to find places where you can just be artistically free, and just really connect with the audience and give them this business, give them these laughs, man. So I'm excited. I can't wait. I cannot wait. And everybody that I just talked to, Greg Fitzsimmons, he was like, oh man, I think he just shot a special down there.
Yep.
That's high praise, man, to feel that safe to where you can, try to capture that moment in time down there. I was like, man, I would love to be able to do something like that. So,
he just directed his own special too, which is an interesting twist on that whole process.
Yeah, that's great. When you've been in it as long as we have, like you can technically do that. Like I directed one. I shot one on iPhones years ago. And I directed.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but it is fun to also have someone you can collaborate with, just another set of eyes. They can say, hey man, maybe do this or do that, do this or do that. So, but I do want to do one first quarter of this year and, put it out YouTube or whatever it is. But I just want to put this work out there. I've been
Between the Comedy Store and the other clubs in LA and being able to come out to the mothership, I mean, you've got the places where you can work that material out. And
so
because of where your home base is, you can choose to cherry pick the places that you're going when you do go out on the road someplace other than LA or Austin, right?
Yeah, that's my intention for like next year. I was telling my wife, I want to be able to hit up at least like 15 markets next year and headline at least 15 markets, with the mothership being one of them. So 14. And because the goal is honestly, man, to not to put this art out there, but also pay for these damn kids, man. They eat every day, man.
Look, on that note, you're obviously happy that the writer's strike is over with. So am I, and everybody else who consumes television and movies. It was way too long And
Right.
it's done now, and that's great. And everybody can get back to work and start cranking out new material again. Do you have a favorite memory from walking the picket lines, or something that's a
Yeah.
weird silver lining of that whole process, Owen?
Yeah, man. I would tell you, man, to be quite honest, it was so the whole thing was it was like it was very sobering and inspiring for me in that it was the first time that I realized and felt good about. I said, oh shoot, I'm a laborer. Like, because when you're a writer, you get your own parking space and you get people order lunch for you. So you have this like you
Hmm.
may have this kind of like maybe it's a slightly elitist feel like, I'm a writer. You kind of feel like you're kind of like an independent contractor, right? You don't feel like you're a part of a team, maybe. When I became a showrunner, and I was always an actor, so I always felt like I always understood that we were kind of like this beautiful group of like, this dysfunctional family that made TV every week. Like, it's amazing all the different personalities that make it, but I didn't really understand like the levels. And then once the strike happened, I go, oh man, there's 11,500 writers in the Writers Guild. There are about, I don't know, 7,500. I may be off on that. Directors. There's 160,000 actors in the Screen Actors Guild, SAG-AFTRA, which I'm also a part of. There's 170,000 IATSE, which are the people who build the sets for us and the lights, and they do all of that work for us. Then there's I think 400,000 what do they call laborers? They do like the landscaping and the gardening, and these are their unions. I'm talking about the union numbers. And then the Teamsters, there's I forgot 1.1 or 2 some million in the Teamsters or something like that. And I was like, oh man, like we're like the heartbeat. Like, if you look at showbiz like a body, we're the heart, because the words we write or the concepts we come up with create, you know, opportunities for all these folks to work, send their kids to school, get their homes, however, and like we all work together. And so when we had meetings, and the Teamsters were like, we will never cross your picket line. And so one time we were walking the line, and there was a truck coming in, and me and one other writer, we stood there with our thing, and I was like so scared, like, is this guy going to run us over? And he was like, and he just did like this, saluted, and drove off. We were like, yeah. So it was like, I don't know, it was like a galvanizing thing, and it kind of like made me realize what really matters, you know what I mean, and how we all need to support, one another, because we sometimes, just how you're ushered into these unions, you may not get like the orientation or told like the whole score, like how we all work together, to create these things that come into your homes, or going to the movie theaters. And so for me, it was like a very necessary thing to just kind of recalibrate and just be really appreciative of what everyone does and how everyone is very necessary. You know what I mean? So to me, it was like, oh, this is really cool. I felt, for me, I just felt good to belong to something. You know what I mean? Because like, as a comic, that's an independent mindset. Like, we're all independent contractors. We don't have a union, but we all come together for one another. If a comic needs something, we all, if they need surgery, if they need something, we all do what we can to help, our brother or sister in that way. But it's not like official, like an official union. We're very grateful for people like Joe who hold comedy at such a high esteem and high regard, and we hope that the younger generations follow. You know what I mean? Like, keep integrity with material, work ethic, help one another out, because what he's doing with this club is just a beautiful thing, and hopefully other clubs will follow. And not just, what I mean? I don't know. I don't want to like not get hired at other clubs, but you know what I'm saying? But what he's doing, he doesn't have to do this. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful gift to the thing that we all love, just the art of making folks laugh in a dark room, baby. That's what it is,
Well, it's important to reset that expectation for everybody, because look, this isn't the only good room in the country. There are lots of good rooms, and
Oh yeah,
Nashville, Zanies, Denver, Comedy Works. Obviously, LA
yes.
has several. really good rooms. Austin, I mean, we we're talking about the Mothership. Austin has 3 or 4 different rooms that are popping pretty much every night. And those are sprinkled throughout the country, but there are also those places that are like, we don't even really care what the comedian is. We're making all of our money based on the alcohol that we're selling and the fried food that we're serving to the crowd during these shows too. So hopefully for a lot of those folks, maybe they reconsider what their model is, or anybody who's trying to newly get into that business reconsiders how they're going about things too.
Absolutely.
Well, Owen, this has been a really fun time. Thank you so much for the conversation, man. Safe travels to and from Austin. You have fun at those shows this weekend.
Oh, man, I appreciate it.
Thanks to Gentleman Jesus for the intro and outro music. Hear more of his work at gentlemanjesus.com. Thanks to you for hanging out. For more of the show and to connect on social media, visit booksonpod.com. Talk to you next time on Books on Pod.